Welcome to the Black Magic Woman podcast with Mundanara Bales.
I'd like to begin this podcast by acknowledging the Kabi Kabi peoples, who are the traditional owners of the lands where this podcast is being recorded. I'd also like to pay my respects to their elders, past and present, and acknowledge this always was and always will be Aboriginal land. We have never ceded our sovereignty as First Nations peoples living in this country, now known as Australia. Welcome to this special episode of The Tiddas, which is a play written by Anita Heiss and directed by Nadine McDonald-Dowd as part of Brisbane Festival in partnership with Boite Theatre and QPAC. It will literally be available to go and see until the 24th of September. I had the privilege of attending the community night and watching the amazing cast take us on an absolute journey. Sisterhood was definitely the theme. I'm not going to share too much more. I want you to hear directly from not just the cast and crew, but also from theatre goers as they left the theatre after an amazing night. I hope you enjoy this episode, and please don't miss this opportunity to go and see the Tiddas as part of Brisbane Festival. Jump online, get your tickets, and hope you have a good night. We're here at Anita Heiss's show, Tiddas, at Boite Theatre. What's your name?
Emma.
Emma, what did you think of the show tonight?
I thought it was wonderful. It touched me very much, and I'm sure I wasn't the only person in the audience crying tonight. It was really beautiful.
Who was your favourite vixen?
That was a tough one. They're all pretty sensational, to be honest. I couldn't fault anyone, and their acting was sensational as well.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank you so much for dropping in.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
See ya. I'm joined here with Janine. Janine, what did you think of the show tonight?
It is fabulous. From page to play, it is really great. It actually brought a lot more emotion live, which is very different. You know, you have your imagination reading a book, but you could actually feel the emotion of the actors. Yeah. So it was great.
Definitely. And you loved all of them. Was there one of them in particular that stood out in terms of the vixens?
No, because every personality is part of a Tidda.
Yeah.
So, no.
That was the best.
You could relate to all of them.
I absolutely loved it as well. Yeah. Thank you for jumping on.
Deadly, Anita.
Thank you. You're welcome. Stella, thank you so much for dropping by to share some of your thoughts about the show tonight.
Thanks for
What did you think about it?
Oh, it was fantastic. It was just hilarious and just on point, and yeah, it was really enjoyable.
Could you relate to any of those women?
Sometimes it was just a little too true.
And a lot of those conversations were for like your closest friends, yeah?
Absolutely, and I think we can all relate to that, and just the relationships and the way that they change over time. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Excellent, thank you so much.
Go and have a jacaranda cocktail.
Absolutely.
I'm joined by the one and only Annie Roxy. Thank you so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
And coming on the podcast. We're here at Tiddas by Anita Heiss and directed by the deadly Nadine McDonald-Dowd, who you know really well and worked with for quite some time.
I do. I've known Nadine for a lot of years, during Coimba days really, the early 90s. So, and Nadine saw me, I think, even earlier than that, when I did work with Boite Theatre. So she saw me playing a character, Binny Bunya, 7-year-old, with Therese Colley's play, Murray Time, yeah.
And you're still going up?
I'm still going.
Enjoying every moment?
Oh, of course.
So what was this show like for you to be part of? Because you are you're the older lady, you're the mum.
Yes.
The mum.
I play all the mum. Oh, I play
the mum for all the women.
Yeah, the mum and the nana. So Nun, I play Nun, and Trish, who is mum to the character Izzy, and Nun to Xanthi's, granddaughter.
Because there are five women in the play that make up Tiddas. Was there one in particular, one character or one of the vixens that you enjoyed most, or all of them?
I love all of the Tiddas. They all have such a beauty and strength and, Murri women and, and we've got our other non-Murri sisters there with us, with this show. So that's what it's all about. It's about, it's about us as women. It talks about lots of things about women and about our lives and all the lives in the production and, and the life of us off stage as well. So, I've had the best time and still having it.
We need to tell people, get down to Boite Theatre here in Brisbane, Vegas, and come and see the play Tiddas.
That's it.
And you come and see Auntie Roxy as well.
Yeah, come and have a good time. Good night at the theatre. You won't be disappointed.
There you go. You heard from Auntie Roxy. Thank you for dropping by, and it was an amazing show tonight.
Thank you, Wendy. Thanks, Dave.
I'm joined here with Libby. Tell us about the show tonight. And I also heard that you've actually read the book.
I did. I read the book some time ago, and I saw Anita at the Brisbane Writers Festival, Queensland Writers Festival, whatever. And I loved the book. I loved the characters, and I thought that the way it was brought to life on stage tonight was just excellent. It really did justice to the book, and particularly to the ending. I thought the ending was just beautifully rounded. Yes.
And best friends really do tell each other everything,
They do indeed. They do indeed. So it was fabulous.
I actually, sitting in there, I could tell everyone was into it. And even the music that came, the different scenes, and the lad that acted and played so many different roles.
We were just talking about that. He was just amazing. And in fact, he was so good. I had to think to myself, is this the same guy? And he was. Obviously was. I thought, wow. To act against 5 women.
Pretty talented.
Very talented young man.
Thank you so much for jumping on the podcast.
Thank you. Bye.
See you. Felicity, it was lovely to meet you before the show, and thank you for stopping by. What did you think of Anita Heiss' play Tiddas?
Oh, absolutely amazing. I think as Aboriginal woman, you could see parts of your life played out on stage, getting a bit choked up thinking about it. I think we could all connect to different parts of the play, and it was so beautiful to see Anita's work come to life.
I was thinking the same thing, that I don't have many memories of going to the theatre and actually seeing myself represented on stage, and representation matters. Having 8 sisters myself, I could connect with all of that. And just the fact that, even with our friends, whether they're Indigenous or non-Indigenous or Aboriginal or non-Aboriginal, we refer to each other as Tiddas. And I'm even wearing the shirt Tiddas, so you've got to get yourself a T-shirt. And there's a book called Tiddas as well. The show's running as part of the Brisbane Festival. What would you say to people if they haven't been here yet, because this is only the second night? What would you say to, especially Tiddas, and here in Brisbane as well?
Absolutely come and watch the show. You'll cry with the show, you'll laugh, and an absolute ball. And bring a friend.
Yeah.
Bring someone to maybe do a one-on-one course with.
And we could talk about reconciliation later. No worries. Thanks for dropping by.
No worries.
Thank you. Brisbane 2022. 5 Tiddas meet once a month to talk about everything, and didn't they talk about everything?
They did. It covered a lot of different topics. I think it's great to see mature women and their stories told on stage, and issues that aren't really touched on, like infertility and alcoholism.
Man troubles, or not? Well, one sister had no man troubles at all.
Yeah, she was having a great time. Yeah, just the diversity of experiences for women on stage, like that was really cool to see.
And so important to see, like, us as black women represented on stage. I haven't been to the theatre many times to actually sit there, and I've never really been able to connect with people's stories because there haven't been black stories or black women's stories or stories around, sisterhood, motherhood. What was, I don't know, who was your favourite vixen?
Oh, I'm really bad with names, but...
So Xanthi, Nadine, Ellen...
The single one.
The single one. You could connect with her and her experiences. But now you're a married woman.
Yeah, I'm married up. Not me.
She's taken. Sorry. And you also performed before the show tonight.
Yeah.
What was that like in terms of Anita or the mob here inviting you to be part of this special event?
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love this space. I always feel at home at La Boite, and it's cool to open the space up for this show. Anita did an amazing job, like really sucked us in. I felt connected to all the characters by the end of it, and it was a beautiful story to witness. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for dropping by. And we'll have to get you back on the podcast.
Yeah.
Tell people your name and where people can reach out to you so that they can hear your beautiful voice.
Okay, my name is Aurora, but my artist name is Soul Child. You can find my music on Spotify, SOLCHLD. Instagram, Facebook.
Holla at your girl.
Yeah, that's right.
So Instagram and Facebook?
Spotify, YouTube, all of that. I'm around.
You're too deadly, my sister. Thanks for dropping by and enjoy the night.
Okay, thank you, Annie. See ya.
I'm here at Boite Theatre with one of the deadly cast from Tiddas by Anita Heiss and also directed by Nadine McDonald-Dowd. Sister, tell me, well, first of all, tell people your name and also the character you played and what was it like to be part of this special piece of work?
I'm Shanoa Dimal. I'm a Ditharwara woman from the Gukuyimtha Nation. It was amazing. Like, I've known Nadine since I was really young, since I first came out of ACPA. So it was really great to work with her on this level now, and because I've worked with her as a writer before in The Longest Minute. So to have her as a director was like a full circle moment. And also she just creates this really beautiful, safe environment, and it's just deadly having a black woman lead us, and be our director.
And what about the amazing Anita Heiss as well? What was it like to spend time with her and be part of, it's her story?
Yeah, it was so great. We felt so supported by her. She would come in almost every week and watch her run, and she would just be in awe of us every time, And
you wasn't nervous?
Oh yeah, nervous having her in the room, of course, yeah, because we're like, oh no, what is she going to think? But she was really great during the process, and it felt really supportive being in there, and I just loved it every time she was in there because it felt like we just had an extra pillow, Yeah.
How important is it for especially women or women to have Tiddas?
I think it's incredibly important for us to have our female friendships. I think, I have my female friendships, and, some of them I've known since, for 10 years and whatnot. And it's just, and even my cousins, my cousins are my Tiddas too, my best friends, and to have known them all my life is just, it's what's kept me going.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be an Aboriginal or Indigenous person to actually see yourself as a Tidda or to be known as one of the Tiddas, right? We've got all different mob in our circles that are our Tiddas.
Yeah. And, I've been saying this for a while too, is that this play, it's universal. Anybody can come, no matter what background you are, and you will see somebody in the cast, or you'll go, oh, that's me, or, that's me in the friendship group, or that's that so-and-so. And, that's what I love about this. It just happens to be written by an Aboriginal woman with Aboriginal characters and Aboriginal content, Yeah.
And in terms of, for people that are watching or listening to this special episode, what do you want to say to them so that they actually go, you know what, I need to get online now and book a ticket and get down here to Boite Theatre?
I think what will get you here is the fact that this is a story that hasn't really been told, like friendships so close like this. I haven't really seen this story on stage before, and I think you're going to come and really enjoy it. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to just enjoy the fullness and the richness of the story.
Sis, you were amazing, literally absolutely amazing. I haven't had a good belly laugh since Chris Rock, and I laughed tonight as if I was watching Chris Rock with his stand-up stuff. Your character in particular, obviously made it for me. Everyone's character complemented each other, but you was one of the standouts. So thank you for an amazing show.
That's props to Anita's writing too, and her comic timing and the writing. She's just too funny. Yeah.
Too deadly. Well, have a good night and enjoy the rest of the shows. I know you got more on, so get on down. You got to the 24th of September to catch Tiddas on show. Have a good night.
Thank you, sis. You too.
I'm here with one of the Tiddas in Anita Heiss' show. This is Xanthi, also known as Shakira Clanton. Can you share with our viewers and listeners what was it like to be in this special play, Tiddas?
It was an incredible opportunity, and it's such a blessing to tell these women's stories, which is our stories, you know? It's also so nice to have black women represent 2022.
Definitely. I honestly felt really proud as a black woman sitting in the crowd and watching you fellas on the stage, and also felt like, part of me was up there with all of you as well, because I've got 8 sisters.
No, I'm 4 and I'm a twin.
Oh, there you go. So, we got friends as well at Tiddas, but you just grow up in the household and with mob, and that was all, those stories were part of, we've all lived it.
Yes.
And there was some really, really personal stories as well. In terms of, Nadine's she directed this play.
Yeah.
Anita has written a lot of books. What was it like to work with people like them?
Mate, you're just working with great legends, and it's such a blessing also to have beautiful, strong women to learn from and to grow and just excel in a beautiful black space. How incredible is that?
Of course.
Yeah.
I can see on your face, sister, in terms of, you're not like, another play, got to go home now. You're
just like,
on cloud 9.
It's so relatable, it's universal, but it means so much to everybody. And then there's moments where I'm like, oh, my family or sisters, and you're like, okay.
The play is actually on to the 24th of September here at Boite Theatre as part of Brisbane Festival. Get your tickets and come check out these Tiddas. It's absolutely deadly. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'm here with the deadly sister, Phoebe Grainer, who played the character Izzy on stage tonight at Tiddas here at Boite Theatre. Sis, what has this experience been like, even before getting to the point of being on show in front of an audience?
Oh, it's been amazing. Like, honestly, the amount of support and love and care that I've kind of felt with all the cast, all the crew, everyone that's kind of been involved, it's been amazing. And also Boite Theatre is such an incredible theatre to work with. This is like, I've come through touring in Brisbane, but honestly, this is kind of like my Brisbane debut, and I'm so happy and proud that I get to debut in Brisbane through Boite Theatre and through Dr. Anita Heiss AM's play.
Yes, she has letters after her name.
Yes, she does. Let's acknowledge it.
She earned that.
Oh, yes, she did.
So what about working with Nadine, who directed the play? What was that like?
I've actually told her, I was just like, you are a beautiful sun, and I feel like you're just like, we're like the little plant, and then your warmth grows us and gets us up, and we start shining. And literally, that's like opening night, right? We're shining, all because of Nadine. And, she's such an incredible, loving, and deeply thoughtful director. Like, we literally came in on the first day, and she had made these little cups and gave us a notebook and had like Phoebe, had like, all Tiddas written on the little cup, the glass cup. And I was like, I've never experienced that in any show. And I also love the fact that, I'm working with an Aboriginal woman director.
That is literally, unheard of, really. Do you think of it in Australia, in the theatre industry, to have an Aboriginal woman direct a show, an Aboriginal woman who wrote the show, and an Aboriginal crew?
Yes, it's like, it's been a dream come true, and I really feel like, I've grown and learnt and really kind of like just found new things about me, new things about acting, new things about really everything. And it's amazing to kind of be on this journey with all these beautiful women. The stories about sisterhood. Like, that's incredible. And also, what I really love about, this timing of this play, Dr. Anita Heiss AM writing this play, is that we're, in this country, we're at a point where, we're seeing real change, right? Real change. And we're seeing, this, I always go back to this, right? And I'm just like that truth-telling with the Uluru Statement from the Heart. Like, telling the story about black fellow women in a city, living their life, succeeding, just being them, laughing.
And there's a lot of non-Indigenous women in the audience tonight.
Oh, yes.
I was just surprised it wasn't just full of black people. I thought black plays only black people went to, but not tonight, not with this play.
Oh, no, this play, is universal. this play connects to everybody on some sort of level. And, you know, when I was watching, you know, when I was off stage, and I'd go look up and I'd see the audience members like leaning in.
Yeah.
And like they were involved. They were so, you know, invested in this storytelling, this beautiful storytelling of this play. And honestly, it's such a joy as a performer, as an artist, as a Maori woman, to be a part of the show and kind of experience that. And I'm so happy that I get to experience for the next month.
Yeah. And I can't wait for other mob to actually get on down to Boite Theatre and come and see these women. Yes. Come and support Tiddas, come and support the sister Anita Heiss. And it's Brisbane Festival, so you got till the 24th of September.
Oh yes. Come along.
You'll be here.
Yes, I'll be here playing Izzy.
Thank you, sis, for stopping by and being part of this episode. This is one of my brothers, and yes, we are twinning. Tiddas, the play. Get your shirts here at Boite Theatre. You can also get the book as well. My brother, you don't need any real introduction, but for people that don't know who you are, do you want to introduce yourself and then share with us your thoughts about being at the show tonight?
Yeah, sure. My name is Tony Albert. Big Anita Heiss fan. Back in Brisbane, I'm so grateful to be here. And my thoughts about tonight, you know, I knew Anita as a wordsmith, and there's something so intrinsic about the human spirit about this. And what we do as people, when we bring that from a black experience, give people this opportunity to enter into this space where you can see it kind of goes beyond this humanity in relationships, in the way in which everything is just a step closer to everyone and everything. And that's what I love about us as people, as black fellas. And I love the fact that when we get to share that experience, and it's this story about everyone, but it shows people who we are, how we act, how we interact with each other. And there's something I love about seeing black performances, and this spoke to me as to why I love that.
Yeah. And in terms of the arts, having, you know, an Aboriginal storyline, an Aboriginal director, Aboriginal, you know, cast and crew, that was quite special as well, wasn't it?
It is, because it's not often in my experience and understanding that we are handed that opportunity. We are entrusted that we're going to do the right thing. And you know what? We bring it, and we do it, dare I say, better than anyone else. And it's taken the industry a long time to catch up and understand how important our stories are, how intrinsically linked they are to actually global ideas of identity and race and blackness and humanity, which I keep coming back to. But it's happening, and it is happening because of people like yourself and Anita at the forefront of these conversations, and your father, of course, like pushing that agenda and making the invisible visible. You know, it's really quite incredible.
You are just too deadly. And I just want to say, for mob that haven't heard of the play Tiddas, there's also a book as well that you can get. But more importantly, jump online and look in the show notes. Come down and support QPAC, Boite Theatre, and also Brisbane Festival. But support mob. That's what's important about this show being here in Brisbane. Come and support mob.
Yep. Get up, turn up, stand up, be here. Get here now. Get the shirt as well. Get the book. Yeah.
I've got it all.
Thank you.
I'm here with the amazing Nadine, real name Louise Bremer, who is part of the Tiddas and one of the non-Indigenous Tiddas.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, I have to say it is a real honour and a blessing to be part of this story. I was so aware from day one that it's, you know, a fully, you know, black team, and I just sort of thought, oh wow, what a real gift for me to be able to step into this and be part of the whole process and be part of the culture, and so much of it I just loved.
And what would you say, especially to non-Indigenous people that may have not have thought Tiddas was for them?
I think what's so great about this story is it's universal. It's not often that we get to see women's stories on stage, particularly sisterhood, women supporting women and friendship groups and things like that. So I think it doesn't really matter what race you have. You know friends like these. You know people like that. You might be one of these women.
One of the vixens.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, thank you so much. The show was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I was going to go back to Coolum last night. I stayed, and I'm so thankful that I did stay. Enjoy the rest of the season. You got to the 24th of September. Get down to Boite and get your tickets and come check out these deadly Tiddas. So thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
I'm here with Anna McMahon, who plays Veronica in Tiddas. What was the experience like just being part of the cast?
Oh my gosh, just so special. It was just such a beautiful story with a beautiful cast, and I felt like everything as an actor that I needed was there. You know, these women that I get to play with every night. The magic of sisterhood is right there in these women as actors, as people. So I don't have to search very far. So I feel very lucky to be brought into this beautiful cast and this beautiful story. I feel honoured, to be honest, to be a part of it.
Wow. And for people that are thinking about coming, down here to Boite Theatre, what would you say to them? Because I've had the best night here. I connected with every single character. I had the best laugh. I came with a few of my titters. What would you say to people that are now listening to this episode?
Absolutely, head on down. It is a night that's worth coming for. And you know what's beautiful about this story is that there's a little bit in there for everyone.
Yeah.
Whether it's part of someone's journey or a character themselves or a place, one of the many beautiful Brisbane places that Anita has included in this story. But there is a point of connection, I would say, for every single audience member, and it is certainly something that's just really special.
Yeah. And also for book lovers, all of the different authors, all of the different books. I learnt a few more titles that I've never heard of in this play.
Absolutely. And look, I'm Veronica, so I love book club. I play Veronica. So yes, if you're a book lover, this play is definitely for you.
Love it. There you go. Thank you so much for dropping by, and enjoy the rest of the season.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm here on the beautiful lands of the Yuggera and Turrbal peoples here in Brisbane, and I'm joined by one of my titters, Anita Heiss, who I'm going to say this wrote the play Tiddas.
Yes.
Also, it's been adapted from the book.
From the novel, yes.
From the novel, but directed by the deadly sister Nadine MacDonald-Dowd. So I came along on the community night.
That's correct.
And captured a lot of, not just mob, but people, theatre goers that came along to see this amazing piece of art, play, theatre. What has it been like? You've been here for 6 nights in a row.
I can understudy all the cast now, including all the men.
Yes.
So I've been here from the preview nights. We've had an amazing opening night, and every night something else amazes me in terms of audience reaction in particular, because different people react differently emotionally. There's laughter in places that I hadn't imagined. There's gasps at some points that none of us, cast and crew had imagined. And that's part of the joy of the live experience. And for me, the challenge of writing the play, adapting it from the novel, was quite daunting. It was a whole new experience for me.
This is your first?
I joked on opening night, this is my debut. It may well be my swan song as well. So I don't know if I need to do this again. But it was my first experience. So it's been a huge learning curve for me, not just the writing of the play, but then coming into the rehearsals and watching how the cast bring themselves to the characters, their life experiences, their wisdoms and so forth, and watching them unpack the backstories to their characters. And I'm just like, stick to the script, but not understanding that this is all a process. So it's not just going in and learning lines.
Yeah.
Nadine is this extraordinary director, and watching her in action and how it all, the actual process of getting the words off the page into the theatre so that the audiences have those emotions. I walked out on Saturday night and everywhere I turned was women crying. Like, what are you crying for? And it's because it's... Sorry.
You didn't realise that it was going to have that impact, or you knew?
No, my goal was that people would feel something. I wanted them to feel something. I want people to see Wiradjuri women in particular through my lens, but also the Meanjin or Magunjin through my lens. But what I've been hearing is the women are getting emotional, not in some of the deeply emotional scenes, but particularly at the end, which brings together the concept of sisterhood and Tiddaism, and a reminder. It's reminding women of the need to tell the women in their lives they love them, to call them, to make plans to hang out. So I've had lots of feedback, including in my own friends going, right, we're going to have a theatre weekend every year. And I go, I'm up for that.
I loved the actual, the setting, the backdrop. And it would not be a play by you, Anita, if there wasn't just bookcases.
And it's interesting because that wasn't my idea.
Your idea.
But obviously the 5 women are in a book club called The Vixens, and the set designer, Zoe, did this. My idea of the set was, they can have a table, they sit around, and maybe we could project some images of the jacaranda trees and the Kudgegong River in Mudgee, because I have no idea. And the first meeting, I was like blown away. This beautiful mocked up Queenslander with the bookcases, and we've got thank you for all the donations for the books. At the end of the season, all those books will be a great book swap here at La Boite, so the money will be raised for the Indigenous Literacy Foundation.
Love it.
Yeah, and so that other people can, in our mobs can actually experience the joy of reading, that we have, access to beautiful books all the time. And so, the set's extraordinary. The music, the sound. Letitia Harris, one of my Wiradjuri language teachers down there in Wagga, she recorded the sound, the vocals for a scene, which a quite moving scene that's set in Mudgee. So, but the lighting, everything. There's a beautiful bit of visual poetry right at the end of the play. Yeah. So I don't want to give too much away, but it's beautiful.
This is still in season here at La Boite as part of Brisbane Festival.
That is correct.
So you need to jump online, get your tickets and come down. La Boite Theatre is actually here in Brisbane. So for people that are listening, if you're coming to Brisbane, you need to do so before the 24th of September. I just want to say really quickly, you are known for your books, and you said you've got Chick Lit, the anthology Growing Up Aboriginal in Australia. That was the last book that Uncle Archie Roach listened to. I don't think you know this.
No, I didn't know that.
I had to share this with you.
Thank you.
So his tour bus is my kind of Keith Williams, big shout out to Royal Black Transfers. Keith actually was Uncle Archie's tour bus driver.
Beautiful.
He drove up to Warrnambool, picked Uncle Archie up, and they'd done about 20,000 kilometres along the east coast. Uncle Archie was performing everywhere. And for that whole 6 weeks that Keith was on the road with Uncle Archie, they first played your book.
Wow.
And they listened to it, audio books, right?
Yeah.
And Keith said to me, there were moments that were minutes that were then hours of driving along where we were both crying.
Oh.
And Uncle Archie just put his hand on Keith's lap as Keith was driving, and they just cried together.
Oh. Can I just say then, I just want to shout out then to the legend, the late Uncle Archie Roach, but also the 52 contributors to Growing Up Aboriginal Australia, because without their stories, so many Australians, including Keith, would not have had an insight into those extraordinary experiences. So that Growing Up Aboriginal Australia gets a bit of a mention in Tiddas.
It does. So I thought I had to mention this book.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And while we do a shout out to all those contributors, can I do a shout out also to all the cast? Arnie Roxy McDonald, in particular, the matriarch of First Nations, or if not Australian literature, or theatre, I should say.
Yes.
And also Annie Colleen Wall, who's been a mentor and elder in residence, and been watching over us on a daily basis as we got to the point of production. And so, I just wanted to, because it takes a village.
It does, and it's about time that, we see ourselves represented, and that's a big thing about representation. It does matter. But directed, written, the cast,
acted,
just to see black excellence. I walked away just feeling like my cup was full. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the book. I love my tea. I was repping the T-shirt the next day. You can actually get your own Tiddas T-shirt as well, and also buy the book here.
I was going to say, if you can't get to the theatre, because obviously people are watching and listening to this all around the globe, the T-shirts are done by Dark and Disturbing, so you can order them online.
Of course. But look, if you can't get to see Anita's play here at La Boite, hopefully it might actually tour. And they might need some bunga as well. So that's where maybe people that are listening, especially corporates and philanthropists, about putting more money towards the arts so we can have more of our stories on stage. So thank you.
Thank you.
For everything.
Thank you for all the support from all around the country, all the messages of love, all the purple hearts everywhere.
I love the purple hearts.
Purple, it's great.
So on that note, thanks so much and have a good night.
Don't forget to follow Black Magic Woman podcast on all social media platforms. To keep up to date with the latest episodes and news, head to blackmagicwoman.com.au. You can rate and review the podcast on iTunes, and please feel free to share the podcast with your family and friends.